Hello, viewers. I'm SB.
And I'm Oh, it's Endless Legend. Oh, I'm Amabel. Hooray!
Wow, that does not read at all. You gotta figure out what's going on with your
Oh,
microphone.
oh no.
You're just like all peaks all the time. The point she was trying to make is that she's enthusiastic to be here. She loves Endless Legend too. Hooray! Can you be nice? Can you just be nice about the
I
games
am.
just a little bit?
I am. I am.
Because that wasn't
I
because that wasn't about Endless Legend. That was about you being shitty about Age of Wonders. Just like
Okay, but Endless Legend 2 is. I will say this as a professional game designer, they can put this on the box. Are there boxes still? I don't know.
there's not a lot of physical game copies being sold. I don't think.
Endless Legend 2, according to Amabel Holland, professional game designer, is the best thing I've seen in Fork School in a long time. That's right. It is better than At the Gates. Put that on the box.
Better than John Schaefer's At the Gates, attributed to Amabel Holland, physical board game designer. That's going to move some copies. So, welcome back to a world here in Amabel Goes to Forex School without angry necrophage armies constantly climbing up our ass. Amabel, can you imagine the things we're going to accomplish?
Yes, I don't want them in my ass. I have a list of things. Necrophages are not one of them.
Okay. We're just gonna move forward now. Now is moving forward. Hey, there's a bunch of villages here that have been pacified. I would love to turn this into a city, and we do now just barely have the influence to do that. And what is our city cap right now? I don't know. I don't think we're at it. So kabam. We found an old battlefield curiosity, but discovered no rewards. There was a curiosity right next to the city, I guess. I don't know how I hadn't noticed it. But it's fine. It doesn't matter anymore. Okay, so let's get some basic infrastructure stuff going here. We're going to need more food. I guess let's just start with that. More food. More food and a focus on artisans at first. Let's get some stuff built. And, we actually do have a lot of money from engaging in various combats. We can buy some initial improvements. So the laborer's hut is not amazing by itself, but once we have a couple of farms, it is giving extra food on every farm district. We're also going to need industry, of course. This blast furnace is going to be very significant for the city. So let's build that, and then we can probably start districting out and leaving the thing to its own devices, more or less, from there.
Okay.
Do we want to put down some farms? So, going to be adjacent to rivers and lakes, which obviously is tough down here in the seabed. +1 food for each tile producing. Yeah, because the tile's producing food. And the tiles around it are producing food, so we can build a little farm complex with a communal habitation in the middle, maybe. Let me put a couple of farms in the queue. Get that city constructing its own food base, now that we've purchased it, a manufacturing base. And these are friendly villages. These are Ocklings, right? Because we do have a slot available, so we could bring on another protectorate. If we did bring on the Ocklings, we would get access to Ockling population +2 dust other than Ockling population. Okay, so they like to work together with others. Or more effectively. They do so more effectively. And their ranged unit, which seems to not really be super compelling relative to our own. When attacking a unit being not adjacent to units of its army. Okay, so they do bonus damage against enemies who are separated from their army, which is interesting. So we have 3 Auckling villages here, and I feel like there was another region, wasn't there, where we were talking about settling where there are Aucklings? I guess there's Aucklings here, which I think we have to settle for a quest, right? Yeah,
I think so.
not
Yeah.
of the chorus forces us to clean Jiram. So we would at least be getting good scaling on that that bonus.
Yeah. Can I just say that skill of, getting the bonus if it's attacking someone that's cut off, like that's a really, I think they do a really good job of creating the kind of tactical opportunities for you to be tactical, for you to lean into the abilities and have things set up things for other units, and I think that's what makes the battle system like a lot of fun. And there's a degree to which that would not be as possible or feel as juicy with the old combat system where you have less direct control.
Uh, mm, Politely disagree.
Okay. Well, I'd like to hear that disagreement when you have a.
I mean, it's not. What do you mean you would like to hear that? No, you're wrong. I would absolutely be able to do that.
Okay.
There's your disagreement. There are bonuses in Endless Legend that are at that level of complexity that absolutely you can work with.
But when you have less direct control over it, like you're not manufacturing the opportunity as much for you to do the, you know,
Maybe
to
you're
do
not.
that thing. Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, let's heal up a hero. I want to put a 5th unit in this army, and then go and fuck up that other Doomwraith, while the army to the south focuses on clearing fortresses because there's a couple of
Okay,
fortresses in that southern area. So I think Gracchus and Polemophon really want to be together, right? Because they're pals.
they're roommates. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. So we will we will pull the new hero out to join up with this army. All right, how are you guys feeling? We're a little injured. It might be a good idea to take a couple of turns off. So yeah, we have another fortress to look at down here, a subterranean shrine, and then there's the underground citadel in this area. Both of these are level 1 fortresses, so we can expect probably a pretty similar amount of resistance to the one we just fought.
Okay.
Sadly, moving into this city has not increased our rate of healing at all. Well, just assume a guard position, recuperate. We need to be back in good shape before we take this stuff on. And then here in Reefborn, the capital, we were planning on attaching Azure Cove, right? But I turned Azure Cove into a city on its own because we need to take over Jiram. I think the army can put down a coral seed in Jiram as we move through, and then that can be folded into the capital. So I don't know if that affects anything. It's just me vocalizing sort of my plans here. We can definitely be constructing buildings. We have a little bit of glass steel in the bank, but what we don't have is actual glass steel income yet, and we need to fix that. How are our vocations looking? Do we have enough space for all of our people? We do. So we don't need to worry about that kind of stuff right now. I suppose more approval is worth pursuing. Let's try to get the city up to happy,
Okay.
because your approval bonus does affect your resource outputs to some degree. And then what is Okay, right, Agdok, the city we just took. This place is going to need some approval help, and also, can we get... No, we don't quite have the buyout on that. I think the next most important thing is going to be a blast furnace for Agdok. That's where our dust is headed next. Every city needs that sort of ability to just manufacture its own goods, you know?
Okay. That makes sense.
So we're working toward claiming Jiram. We have a quest from somebody. That's not the button I want. Show me quest log. Here we go. Whose forefathers? There's a melee weapon waiting for us in that temple, so we're gonna get there. And then we need to finish one more laboratory somewhere. We've been working on that for a while. I believe this is, yeah, we're working on it here. The laboratory will happen. Now this city can actually build stuff. And look, we learned to bait doom wraiths just in time to not need to do it anymore. We also gained the army manual. Those unwilling to learn from the necrophage's brutality are likely to become victims of it. And we're going to have to pick up a new research focus in a second here. Let's run all you together. Okay. So over here in High Laguna... We do need science output pretty badly. +5 science on every laboratory. Like, I do wonder if we might be better off building our first geodesic dome elsewhere. But it is a lot of science. You know what? Just work on it. Over here. Okay, next turn. We'll have enough saved up to buy that out. Okay, so... Now that we have a way of dealing with doom wraiths that doesn't require us to commit an army to them, you know, just in case, our armies should be otherwise committed. We are researching pretty slowly at this point. 8 turns is not, it's not as fast as I would like. So, research grants. Unlocks bonus science immediately on City Hall and the Ministry, which I believe is the capital building in the other cities. So science per city, but more in the capital. A wildlife...
Is there a pop? I'll go ahead and then I'll ask you a question. Sorry.
A wildlife lookout that doubles the science on our foundations. So unbuilt up science tiles, I guess. And then also the research station. +8 science if adjacent to an anomaly for every laboratory. And we do have a fair number of labs adjacent to anomalies, I think, and we can certainly work that number upward.
There's not a population focus that increases your research. Because the scribes are for influence.
No, the scribes are... so scribes give some science and some influence.
Okay.
You can see here, per.
Yeah.
You guys are probably not focused correctly. So yeah, you can't get a ton of science that way, at least not yet. We don't have any buildings that boost the science output of our scribes, but I bet such a thing exists. I do really like our little like coral road.
Yeah, this is such a gorgeous game.
I should have done a better job maintaining it through this area. Like, we have this big hole in the middle where it sure would be nice to move from any of these cities to any of the others. And the coral just has not seen fit to spread that way. And it's gone lots of places that are useful, but I sure would love to have some over there too.
You know, it's not only gorgeous, but other than some elevation difficulties, it's very readable, very clear. And that's gonna be a tough thing
Yeah, it's always a
to,
challenge.
to balance.
So it does look like there's just not very much. There's not very many like useful tiles over here. No matter where we put the the new city center tile down, it's just going to be like okay. Honestly, right here probably be fine. Or like I guess maybe not adjacent to the mountain. All right, does that leave us enough to rush out the blast furnace? It doesn't quite, but it's probably important to prioritize. Okay, you guys have healed up. So let's talk about your specialization. Is it worth spending dust to push you up to coordinated attack? When attacking a unit adjacent to 2 friendly units, 15 damage, or 15%, plus an extra 2% per veterancy level. And I mean, these guys have a couple of levels on them. So we could push them both to stingers. If I leave them as they are, they have the same base damage. I think I'm just going to leave them as they are. The upgrade to resistor is really significant because of the bonus range. But the stinger upgrade, I think we can hold off on. So let's go and clear a fortress. Unfortunately, both of these fortresses are in territories where the locals are hostile to us. So I do want to be a little careful. I think if we don't step into their actual territory, they won't attack us, and then I want to just like move in all at once. Let's test that theory. Because we won't reach this turn anyway. Alright, the coral spore is good. Looks like they do maybe want to fight. I mean, we'll slaughter them. I'm just going to go ahead and take the instant.
Okay.
Got ourselves a pretty decent battle axe, some extra dust. Unfortunately, kind of a lot
of health on one of those guys.
Yeah, kind of a lot of damage on one unit, which is going to necessitate stepping back home. It doesn't seem like there's any benefit to being on the city tile directly, so I guess we'll just recoup here. All right, you guys have laid down the polyp, and now it is time. Oh, that's a challenging battle. You know, maybe we are going to try baiting the Doomwraith. Make it move to another territory. The further the destination, the higher the cost. And then we're just going to have to deal with it anyway, like. But I guess the question is, could I bait it to a location where I would be allowed to use my city garrison? We don't actually know. We've not seen the city garrisons come out in battle.
Yeah.
I think quite the way they do in quite the way they can in Endless Legend. Out of curiosity, if I hit this, okay, it locks the camera, or no? Okay, it was just hesitating. I mean, we can bait it all the way down here to where our other army is working. And then we can deal with it with both stacks. We need to have somebody come up here and lay down a thing in GRM anyway, so this movement has not been wasted. And then, while we're up here, let's go ahead and, before I forget, do this. It's expensive. We could lay down another coral polyp somewhere over here, because it is worth noting there are resource deposits that are worth having. Let's try to snatch up this region. These Leswellan deposits have a lot of science on them, which is rad. A lot of the tiles in general in these revealed areas are pretty good. Although there's also a lot of barren stuff here. But yeah, I definitely want to put down in the place where we can get put down a polyp in the place where we can get some of these advanced strategic resources. Because right now we are terrible at strategic resources. Okay, and that thing will move on, which hopefully will free our region from its corruption. That'll be lovely. So maybe build the coral spore like over here. Can benefit from these tiles and that tile, and then maybe more good stuff as the water recedes. We'll just have to wait here for a turn.
Okay.
The business of expansion.
What do you think of that with, this whole thing where the water is receding, more lands being revealed, like not knowing what resources are going to be in those adjacent hexes?
So they're pretty good at they have been smart enough to broadcast the location of like the strategics and stuff ahead of time, because strategic resources are tall enough that they poke out of the water. But as far as like not knowing the exact the terrain and the low level, like what you might call first order resources, I have to be honest with you, it's uncontrollable variance, which is a thing that I generally do not like. And you're definitely like making some gambles as you're settling your city around, but it does lead to just like repeated waves of exploration that really tickle the part of my brain that like, because so much of my enjoyment of 4X games is focused kind of on that. I'm like, ooh, let's see what like kind of new terrain we could encounter and what kind of solutions we would have to come up with for that. I think I'm actually like very in favor.
Okay.
It does cool things. It does some really cool things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have here some space. I mean, I guess I would build a lab here, right? We're about to get even better science from labs adjacent to anomalies. Let's just go ahead and build another lab. That will also help with our science rate being very slow. And then down here, Longshore. This is a moment for just kind of like pulling all of our stuff together, right? So there are some big approval boosts still available. If you have a consular mission, it reduces the influence cost on treaties. We're going to build this somewhere. I guess it could be here. It's true that we didn't... Okay, so we haven't expanded a lot. Were there anomaly tiles that I was trying to bring under control, or did we already do so? Because I see that we expanded from this to that very quickly. It looks like we're on top of the anomalies that we can see for the most part. Can we fix this village? Yeah. A lot of villages have been burned down or corrupted into the ground by the what you call it, the doom wraiths. Mm-hmm. Or just the necrophages. In the case of this one, I think, and we do want to repair those. It sure would be nice if these villages were functional. Do you? Oh, you don't have your blast furnace yet. Okay, well that's part of why this is looking like this. I think I'm gonna hesitate on this. Let's get this coral pump down so that we can move this army elsewhere. We have places we want to get to. But the next thing we're doing with Dust, for sure, is buying out this blast furnace. Alright, you have emerged, and I'm still not really sure what to do with the hero havens. Like, where is the best place to put them?
Yeah.
Like, is it best to like go to some barren tile and improve a tile that's not worth anything? That makes a certain kind of sense, right?
I suppose so.
Does the city get the resources from that? We're gonna like just lay this out here. I don't want to evolve into a camp. I want to attach you to a thing. So this city only has one attachment. Don't we have, or have we not picked that up yet? There is an attachment gain somewhere. I remember us seeing the ability to attach more regions to cities, and I thought we had gained it, but maybe we had not. Reforest. And I don't know how to quickly look up something like that. Like where is that ability? You know?
Yeah. Well, we can look around. I would assume it'd be, not in the military stuff, but in the civic-y stuff.
Yeah, because it's interesting that we are not
given that option.
Yeah. Do you evolve into a camp and then you attach?
Oh, right. Because a camp's not the same thing as a city.
All right, and evolving it into a camp at all makes it our territory. So, do you feel safer now, my lord? New lands lie under your control, ripe for coral. Listen, everybody's ripe for coral. Do I detect dismay, Xenos? We do what we can to maintain the harmony and grow the chorus. I am happy we've secured fertile lands. A doom is coming to this world, my lord, fields of coral or not. Anything involving the Old Ones seems to come to an unpleasant end. The Old Ones, whoever they were, are long gone. We will brace for the coming storm and find a new balance. And we were awarded some sneakers. Ooh, it's plus 5 damage per adjacent friendly unit. That's a pretty good shawl.
Did you say some sneakers?
Yes, that was a New Balance joke.
What's New Balance?
That's a brand of shoes.
Oh, okay.
Xenos' identity and their bleak prophecy still troubles Plerogyra, but they have bigger concerns to occupy their mind. The retreat of the waters is a new nightmare, on top of which rivals vie for the riches of this newly revealed seabed. And all the while, strange corrupting beasts stalk the lands, and hostile empires and tribes threaten bloodshed. Plerogyra suspects they see the work of the Old Ones. Apologies for the interruption, my lord. We have yet another intriguing visitor. It does seem like there's a lot of those lately. That may become the motto of my reign. They are a green scion traveler, Edu Emil, who claims they have information about Xenos and their clan. I thought you should speak. Welcome, Edu Emil. May you live in harmony. Oh, you're okay. We have not seen any green scions. We live for the work, not harmony. The work requires effort, time. But I come to speak of Xenos. What do you know of him? Them. I guess we're all plural here.
Yeah.
We are many. Our gardens are many. We see much. I can tell you much. However, we need your help, your might. Help cull the doom wraiths who terrorize our gardens. Then I will tell you. This is supposed to be the same speaker, I think.
Yeah.
All right. The beasts ruin the harmony. Destroy a doom wraith to unlock the faction trait Syatin Spore. Aspects can also generate coral spores by killing doom wraiths or closing rifts. Okay, that's kind of cool. And we were just about to destroy a doom wraith.
Sick. Rad.
Sick and rad. Savage. Brutal. wrecked. Okay, this place is going to need some more farms, I think. Also, the reconstruction of its minor faction villages, probably a good idea as well. So what do we have here? We have a keep, an advanced merchant's house. So they do have some farming. It's a trading post. I think I'm going to put a farm right here. Give you some productive things to do for a couple of turns. Alright, these guys are ready for bloodshed again. Y'all need to head down here. We should probably defeat this one random horror while we're coming through. Wow, really?
Yeah.
But it's just one random dude. Why would one of my archers take so much damage?
Well, I guess we better manual this. Hooray!
I don't know what you're so excited about.
I get to see my sweetie do a good job.
I mean, this thing is backed into a corner here. It feels like we can just let it move forward and shoot at it. Actually, we can actually like. So do we have 3 range. Oh, and then this is Mitoxis. This is the hero. And then it sure seems like this thing's entirely cliffed down. So if we just plant a melee unit there. Oh no, the cavalry guy can reach it actually. Never mind.
Hooray!
Yeah, why would we take any hits at all, in fact? Very strange. Oh, right. This is not attached yet. Attach it to Reefborn, please. Build ourselves a little nest here. And then down here, this army is perfectly fine. So I guess let's go and have words with this fortress. All right, how's Silver Creek doing? Our people are not as pliant as they might be. And then, what's going to take to buy out this? Okay, this foundation would be 135. I would like to put down a what do you call it? Out here, one of those communal habitations. We'll just level up, power up all of our farms in that way. And then we're most of the way to seeing some level ups, right? We have districts that have a bunch of districts that have 3 neighbors. But let's get our approval on first. All right, Gracchus has built a haven. Select a companion to share this haven with. Let us go and do that. So we could take on Anaximens of Nowhere to get power couple, 20 influence when eliminating a unit, plus 10 defense, plus 2 intuition from spending a lot of time in a way that we're not going to judge or narrate about with Sharf. You're not really an intuition kind of character though. You're built for maximum smashing. So, yeah, Pavarine and Tormalite, I think, do both make sense.
No, we're not going to narrate or speculate. But viewers, if you want to write fan fiction about this particular power couple in this playthrough,
or particularly show us some fan art of them living their lovely little domestic life together.
Oh yes, that'd be even yes. If anyone wants to do fan art, we will find a way to put it on screen. If you do fan fiction, I'm gonna make her read it.
I don't know if that's going to be as compelling as you want it to be. Whoa, check out these crystal dunes. Striking shards thrust forth from black sands, resonating with a strange energy. +1 Lazuelan, Hyperium, and Eradione per turn. Oh, and Thalatine. So all of the top 4 in rarity. And then also bonus industry and dust on your artisans. That seems like a thing where maybe I was mistaken. Maybe we're not headed back just yet. Somebody's got to deal with that Doom Wraith. But on the other hand, somebody's got to put down a coral thing over in this area somewhere. What does the terrain look like? It's mostly pretty juiced. Can we get a little deeper? I mean, we don't necessarily need to be directly adjacent to the natural wonder. Cannot be done, as there is water at this location. It's true. There is water at that location. There's a resource deposit there. Because like one of these 2 tiles would be a really good place for it. I think I'm going to plan to put it up here. We will figure it out. All right. Fortress level 1, threatening. So we have a set of fortress denizens here. A scholastic ranged unit, able to deal like 32-ish damage. Applies a vulnerable to targeted units, cutting their defense by 30%. And also weakens them. 20% damage. And then some mighty rangers. They do seem to be a sort of a large monkey man, like a gibbon. Is a gibbon the right thing? They can shield if they're allowed to charge. Also damage, so just don't let them charge you. That seems very dangerous. And led by the mighty tyrant of the fortress, himself a juggernaut, with a cutting strike, impenetrable momentum, and so on.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of gibbony. I can tell you, I don't really know from monkeys and apes, other than like bonobos. I know a lot about bonobos.
Gee, I wonder why. It's weird.
Was that pointed comment directed at me for some reason?
I was just saying, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. So, obviously, we don't want to let their ranged units get too much time on us here. I mean, is it foolish to just go for it? Like, observer in, fuck this guy up, and then hit him hard with the big archer? We should probably go for the others, right? We'll have time to hammer him down. I don't know. Like, this is a thing. This is always a thing. It's always a decision to make. Do you go for the enemy's hero first, or do you go for their weaker stuff first? The ranged unit, we do have the ability to get to one of the archers first, and I think that probably is the thing to do. But in general, like, what do you prefer to pick off the enemy's weaker units where you can, and like reduce the number of counterattacks you're going to face, or to sort of break their strength?
It really depends on the game and the system and what kinds of thing it rewards. Like a lot of the kind of hex and counter stuff I play and design, usually breaking like a tough leader type unit will reduce the the way it works in Total War Warhammer, where you go after the leader and everyone gets
Takes a penalty.
demoralized.
Yeah.
Yeah. When that's not a case, I'm more likely to try to just, action economy. Like, how do I reduce the number of actions they have per turn?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm being kind of aggressive here because we don't actually have the ground troops to keep their cavalry off of our archers. So I'm figuring we just gotta like get in and start mixing it up. In particular, we're going to reduce the amount of harm they do if we are reducing the amount of movement they're making. Coral... No, not Coral. Onslaught. Rain of Arrows. So the Rain of Arrows will kill that guy. Shame it will also hit our own units, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. It'll hit our own units singular. And then I think we can bring forward an archer. Ah, damn them. Curse them all the way to damn it. This should be... No, it's not. It's not in range. I literally can't reach him for the killing blow. That's very frustrating. At least he's like badly wounded, so he's not dealing full damage, but... Okay, that wasn't nearly as dangerous as I was afraid it might be. Let's take our Coral Onslaught now. Just shoot through these enemies. Look at that. Look at all the good work our hero's doing. Strike this guy and then
good job.
Finish him off for the blood bend. That is quite a lot of healing. Wow, excellent crit. Okay, now it's just us and the one. This mighty ranger. It doesn't seem so mighty to me.
Not even morphin at all.
Alright. They survived, fortunately, and have recovered many ancient items from the refuse in the monster's lair and the tunnels that connect to it. They survived, referring to the people who were brought here, the reason we were supposed to come here in the first place, I think.
Right.
And what have you learned of this mysterious people? They were a subjugated people that fought their way to freedom. Warriors who turned from bloodshed to study the sciences. A noble past. They deserve more than a small ruined grave. I fully agree. They called themselves the Ironskins, and we, at least, will remember their name. And also their scythe. And on top of that, obviously, we have now claimed the thing here. In addition, 300 dust plus a razor sickle. Seems like a decent one-handed axe. Applies terrorized to target unit. Okay, loses 15% damage. Got ourselves another kind of medium value bow. A flask of dust fire. Oh, it's a heal. That is not what I would have expected. It's a healing grenade.
No.
And the filigreed chestplate. Okay, I gotta make sure our heroes are actually equipped with stuff. So, let's parlay with these angry nest-dwelling creatures, these Oneroi. See if we can't get them to just like, calm down a little bit. And word has reached even here that you have formed an alliance. Is that because your troops are weak? You have come far, very far from your home to churn up our fields. This is our land you are tromping on. Tromp no further. Show us your finest warriors, and we will see if they impress us. You challenge us to war, Apron. Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa. A test of strength, rather, to see whether we allow this trespass. Convince us of your might, and we could even become allies someday. Heroes are rare on the face of Seada, and we would like to see how you train yours. After all, an exceptional leader can make an exceptional impact. Well, gladly, our heroes are both rugged and rigorous. Whatever skills you develop would also, of course, benefit your friends. Okay, raise my Toxis, our lowest level hero, by 2 levels to pacify all these Onerai villages and also gain the Talisman of Savagery.
Savagery?
Savagery.
All right.
When my Toxis equips it, he will become so savage. What? You have something to say?
Just make sure that my Toxis dilates regularly, or else they'll lose depth.
So unfortunately, some Doomwraith garbage has attacked. What's his name? While he was out forming his little love nest. I think he's just gonna run. We are not winning that fight by ourselves. I did not realize there were so many hostile Doomwraith units left in the area. Once we
get the Doomwraith, baby.
Once we kill the Doomwraith, they're still going to be around. We're still going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, well, how's it going with killing that Doomwraith? They haven't happened yet.
He's en route to the location that we told him to go to, that we baited him to go to. So this research station would give us 3 instances of its plus science on labs adjacent to anomalies buff. It is a slow build, but I do think we're going to grab it because that's a lot of science. And here in the years of invention. Okay, what are we working on? We're 6 technologies away from moving up again. We just got our science stuff going. So, like, what is next? What is our biggest next focus? Another protectorate slot, I think, would not be unreasonable. We're making a lot of friends down in the minor factions. Or additional industry is always good. I feel like we're in a pretty all right spot right now as far as dust and influence incomes go. With an embassy, we can unlock vision exchange, joint military, and deeper collaboration treaties. Signing this treaty will provide an additional science bonus to cities in both empires and make texts discovered by one empire cost less for the other, in addition to the previous 20% reduction from the shared research treaty. Okay, I like that there's multiple levels to the treaties. That's a thing that the Civilization 6 multi-level alliances I thought were very mechanically compelling. Give you a really good reason to try to maintain good relations with somebody over a long term, like something that really feels like an alliance. And I'm happy to see some kind of version of that here. See, glorification also unlocks a protectorate slot. So we have 2 different ways of pursuing that. We can unlock unit specializations for all the minor faction units, or we could get influence from pacified protectorate villages and unlock the Hall of Harmony, which gives +1 influence per coral in the city's territories. So every tile that is coraled up. That feels like that's going to be a lot of influence. And honestly, maybe we just get both of them. There's also, there's also food stuff. Obviously, population's really important. Oh, here's +1 attachable territory. Well, let me grab that before I forget. And already our science researching stuff in 4 turns instead of the 12 we started the episode with. Already our science is looking considerably better. So there is a source of titanium right here in Igniat. I think it behooves us to expand into Igniat. So let's maybe go for that. Actually, maybe go here. Because I want to be able to put down as many labs adjacent to the dust fence as possible. So let's put down the dust thing close to, but not actually on the dust fence. Or close to, but not actually adjacent to. All right, so we'll do that while we're waiting for the Doomwraith to continue relocating with our army in some kind of pursuit. And you, I guess you're just also coming down here. We could have Gracchus. No, Gracchus wants to. Gracchus is Player Gyro's friend, or what's the name of our military commander?
Companion?
Polemaphon. Polemaphon's friend.
Polemaphon. Okay.
And so they really do want to be in the same army. What? Yes? What? Dust? The simplicity of your needs almost makes me jealous. Regardless, yes, we now understand this phenomena. It was an ancient processing facility used to harvest dust from the seas and the air. We can, if we are careful, filter a bit for ourselves. Yeah. Yes. Dust. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wait, you won't bury your dead or, mourn them? Or what? You crazy? We have dust. They don't need it. That's all. Okay, listen, not all societies need to be big on ancestor worship. It is, in fact, the case that the dead are dead. So, 600 extra dust for us, then. Certainly going to rush some things along. For example, this blast furnace that I forgot to finish. Okay, you guys are now just trying to get down here and help us fight the Doomwraith, which I actually can't tell if it's still moving south. Did it stop? I mean, we can meet it up there. Sure. We can just go fight it up there. That's fine. Although apparently I'm going to need a turn here. All right. Yeah, we really do need to get our resource extraction going. +1 approval and +1 science per population assigned to scribes. That's an interesting bonus. So, there's something to be, there's a balance to be struck between internal and external improvements. Really reaching out and actually grabbing more tiles.
Mm-hmm.
Which has an influence cost as you keep going outward. I think I'll go ahead and grab that now. I think that's an interesting balance, and I'll be curious to see how the weights really work out, whether it's always better to expand internally or whether it's always better to expand externally if you can afford it, or,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the value of these systems is going to come down to the specifics of the balance in that way.
That makes sense. I mean, it
is still moving south. Okay. It's just,
those kind of details are really vital in my own work, but because they're board games and because I tend to go pretty coarse grain with things, I don't have so many numbers to balance, right? These games seem so complex to balance, and it takes such skill and probably a degree of trial and error to get all these numbers to work together. And I don't know, it's quite an achievement. Just at working this well, and we're in early access, right?
Yeah. It has had some some play testing already. There's been a sort of a closed alpha phases and whatnot, but okay. So we're getting ready. This thing will be in position to fight it, and we will have 2 big armies ready to do so, probably next turn.
Okay.
Okay. So over here, let's talk about this.
Okay.
We got to build these extractors. Now that things are not entirely miserable over here, I'm going to prioritize these over everything else. Let's get our glass steel coming in. And then we're going to get a titanium extractor there. You probably want to get your first strategic extractors up earlier than turn 130. That'd be my hot advice to the players out there. And I'm going to expand our number of protectorates. I think it's good to make use of all of the space that we're taking over, right? Why, it's Brother Brook. Polemophon the Steadfast. You're a sight for sore eyes. Brother Brook, you're shaking. What happened? Oh, I've been a fool. I borrowed some dust. From who? I can't tell if this whole dialogue is backwards because it seemed like those first two lines were.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. A Gorog moneylender. No one else would lend to me, but I needed the dust. I'm so ashamed. And now the Gorog's threatening violence. Okay, we'll find a way out of this. Let me think. Let's turn the tables on this Gorog. We'll pay 200 dust and gain a ranger. Or I'll call in a favor from some soldier friends and we'll fight them. We'll gain dust. We'll lose influence, calling in the favor, and we'll have a battle against 2 rangers. I mean, I'll just take a ranger. I'm fine with that. So it says pawn. Let's turn the tables on this Gorog. But this seems like pay off your debt and then some, and then he becomes an employee, which is not really what turning the tables is. Let me talk to this Gorog. I think I've got an offer it won't be able to refuse. Oh? We pay the debt, or rather the aspects pay the debt, and the Gorog and their crew sign up for the army. Don't worry, we'll sell them on the perks. Yeah, that's not really turning the tables. It's just like you hired a guy. That's it.
Well,
that seems like voluntary employment. Welcome to the team, in any case.
I mean, it's a classic bit of king shit to, someone who pissed you off, put them in the army, and then put them, on a suicide mission or something. So who knows?
I don't think that's the plan. I suppose I'm in charge of whether or not that's the plan. It's not. We're just going to use them to fight stuff.
Okay.
All right, so great big battle. Instant resolution gives us no losses. Amabel, how badly do you need to see the fight with the Doomwraith? It's pretty badly.
I mean, we're almost at the hour, and I need to make dinner. So
okay. In this case, we're okay with instant resolution.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is, I believe, the last of the Doomwraiths that were threatening our position. I would like to read the quest update, please. There it goes. You have done much, saved our work. The Doomwraiths take their doom elsewhere. You have the Green Scion's thanks. Now I owe you. And we got a cool faction trait. The Doomwraiths are gone. Tell me what you know of Xenos' clan. Oh, Xenos comes from another clan of aspects. They were small, weak, and far away. But we watched their coral die. We watch all things that grow. Fascinating. One of our theories was actually correct. What are the odds? Tell me, did the other aspects survive? It is sad they did not. Their dieback was too great, their numbers too small. And Xenos was blamed, so Xenos was banished, cast to the seas. That's unforgivable. The aspects were afraid. They thought Xenos caused the dieback, but it continued after Xenos left. What a horror to see one's work wither and be helpless and be blamed. Xenos must have suffered. Yes, Xenos was confused, going mad. I came across them soon after, lost and confused, their memories shattered. They were near an ancient site. Ah, I begin to hear the discordant echoes of the old ones in this story. Yes, I will show you. Tell all. But one more favor. lay roots near that site. I will reveal all and pledge my allegiance to your work. We will gain the notable Yudi email, but he'll come along and work for us. So we got to claim Zhu. Do we know where that is?
The Zhu.
We do. We do know where that is. And in fact, we already have a spore in it. So I guess evolve into camp. We keep our promise. We maintain the harmony. The illuminated realm now has a camp near the old one's site. It is admirable. I too can be trusted. Sorry, this is something nobody's ever said to me before. I keep my word and will tell you what I know. It was the night of the starfall. We had a sight of our work near the coral of Xenos' clan. Xenos would come out often at night, watch the stars. But that night they stayed out all night, moving erratically, as if diseased or possessed, and they spent hours at the site of the old ones. Something in the starfall must have affected it. Eventually the possession ended and they returned home. Yes, and when they did, trouble. Xenos was no longer trusted. The arguments began, the accusations. The dieback happened before, but now they had a scapegoat, a victim. This is a lot to digest. I must meditate. But still, who did what to Xenos and why? What exactly was the starfall? Did it speak to Xenos? Well, I only know what happened near our gardens. The rest, only guesses. Nevertheless, your first service to our empire has been sincere, Yudi Email. I am glad to have you join us and help to maintain the harmony. Events only ever come in threes, my lord. Lyogramel brings another visitor to the illuminated realm, a Tahuk. They present themselves as Ward Gembar Ibadan, an ambassador of goodwill.
Oh.
What?
I just realized we should have had you do a Gargamel voice for that character. That would have been good.
Most revered, it is an honor to stand before you, Lord Plerogyra. I am blessed. So the Tahuks, this is another one of the player factions. Not that we necessarily have a Tahuk on this map, but it's one of the things you can be.
Okay.
You do me too much honor, Ward Gembar. I am but one aspect, chosen for a difficult job at a difficult time. May I ask your purpose? We are fascinated by your empire, your people, yourself. In the name of harmony for all the peoples of Sayata, would you permit us, to study your ways? A polite and flattering request made in the name of harmony. I can only agree. Tell me, Ward Gembar, what feature of our empire is most interesting? You speak to all peoples and listen and strive to understand and bring them harmony. Could we observe the wisdom of your speech, the structure of your discourse? Well, easily. Sayata is vast, and there are many beings we would bring into our harmony. You are welcome to accompany us as an observer. So have at least 3 empires known for TED turns. To unlock the Tendrils Braid. Additional dust on coral. Okay, every coral tile everywhere. That's pretty good. I mean, within our territory, obviously. So we need to meet the other player for this.
Okay.
We're not really doing a lot of scouting right now. That might be a good thing to do with some of these new troops that we've just been handed. So this army, I think, can probably just hang out for the moment. Gracrius can take something. You know what? Sure. Obviously, we do want to heal up. And then let's commit some additional improvements here, and then we can call it for the day. So this is kind of an awkward tile, kind of an awkward low-value tile. I suppose that makes it a good place to put down a communal habitation. Over here, do we still have important improvements to build? This is not yet actually interesting here. A citizen center. The Auckling's Den improvement gives us plus 10 dust per war that we're in. And plus dust from our scribes.
Plus 10% dust per war.
Yes, 10% dust. Okay, that's right. We built that, so I kind of want to construct some foundations around it and build additional stuff. I think a laboratory goes pretty well here. And then this laboratory will be the 4th district for that farm, so it'll level up. We build down here, it'll level up both of those, and then we can, figure out more build from there. Actually, I should have gone down this way first. Well, this isn't an anomaly, though. It's a resource deposit. We should definitely build an extractor on that. I did not realize that that was a resource deposit. Amabel, luxury resources. Remember luxury resources? What if we actually had some? I've been so focused on everything else.
How many do we need to fire a booster?
It's probably a lot at this point. 60.
Wow.
More than we can have even hold of these, so we need to yeah, because it's based on the number of cities you have, right?
Right.
Probably sorry.
Cities.
It's probably based on the number of territories you own. It was the number of cities in Endless Legend 1, but
okay.
But we're doing good work here. So I'm gonna hit end turn. We're gonna let the turn cycle. Here on this turn, we're not going to do anything except, before ending the episode here, take a quick peek at our victory progress. So, if we look at the stats on the Awakening, we are at 11 of 25 territories owned, and we are continuing to expand. I would say we are now really in our expansion period. This number is going to rise rapidly. And we are 2 fortresses cleared, with the 3rd one in sight. We'll be able to knock out in the next turn or two. We do have 46 population. Build 5 monuments to the lost. So you really want to be in the final era before you decide whether you're going for worship. Impress requires lots of strategic resources of all types. The world wonder that we're building near is certainly going to be helpful with this. And we are currently at 15 minor faction villages pacified, in 2nd place behind the Sheridan. And we're still working on quests. Honestly, we might find that the Impress victory ends up being more appropriate. But in any case, we're making good progress toward both of them. I just wanted to make sure that we were, still.
Yeah, you got a lot done this episode.
Yeah, the moment we no longer have to worry about the necrophages trying to crawl inside of us and build a house, all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier to focus on everything else. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we have a lot of exploration to do, it would seem. We need to find the other player, and once we clear this one fortress that's next to us, we've emptied 100% of the fortresses that we found. So if we want to get another 7 cleared, we have to find another 7. So, long-ranging exploration. It's going to be a big episode. Come back for that, and we'll see you then.